Hi everyone, it's Kristen, back again with another Diary Days, and this is special because I brought my diary, my journal. It says notes and thoughts, really nice journal. Um, Bought it at Barnes& and Nobles, but I know they have a website where you can customize them. I didn't, but I wrote down everything for this episode in here. Not first page, sorry. I've only written it like 4 times, if I'm being honest, so far, because it's new. Not new, I got it in January. It's just, school's been schooling, so, which is what we're talking about today. Technically, we're talking about senioritis and anxiety, just stuff that came to me that I was like, I'm gonna write this down. Like that meme in SpongeBob when he's like, write that down, write that down. That was me. So, I don't know, first things first, let's go into senioritis because I'm gonna be honest with you, your girl's been struggling, and it's not like a cutesy. It's been really hard. No, I've been down in the trenches. It's been really bad. Senioritis has come for me. She hasn't been gentle about it either. And normally I'm not going to say on top of my work, but I get things done when I find the motivation to get them done. Nowadays, it's literally the 18th. Graduation is a month away, and I've been like, not into it. Don't feel like doing anything really. And not so much as it's been really hard to get back into doing my work, more so it's been hard in disciplining myself to do it. Because I'll do it when I feel like doing it, not doing it ahead of time. Which, probably isn't the best thing to say when your professor is watching this and gonna grade you, but I'm just being honest. I'm just being real. Senioritis is an actual word. I think that probably people who aren't in school don't think of it as a word. It's a word. I Googled it. It comes up. I think it was like, it's not World Health Organization, but I think it's Word Education. And let's see. Senioritis is somewhere in here. Hold on. Senioritis is a detachment, anxiety, or desire to get started on the next chapter of your life. I do not have the desire part. I have the detachment anxiety. Not really looking forward to graduating. I know that taboo to say. I think it might be. Maybe it's not. And for myself, I've been going to school for so long. I think I talked about it already. 2 decades of my life have been dedicated to school. I haven't done anything else. And it's literally the one thing that I know that I'm good at. I'm good at getting an education. I'm good at being educated. But I'm not the best student on campus. I was usually late to class, but I showed up and I got A's. And that's what mattered to me, was going to get educated. I want to equate this, like how I'm feeling, into words, but I don't have the proper words for myself, because if I do, they'll come out all poetic, and I'm a writer, so if you're expecting poetic from me, I'm sorry, I'm not going to give that to you just yet, but I do have a quote from my favorite book, which I think sums up really perfectly how I feel. It's Happy Place by Emily Henry. Please don't come for me or copyright me infringement and whatnot. I just love her work, and this quote embarks on like all the feelings that I feel when I think about how long I've been in school and my journey, I guess I would say. So in this part, she's talking about how she went to school to become a surgeon. She spent all these years going to school and getting her education just to prove to her parents that this is what she wanted and she was doing it for them. And she starts off by saying, I imagine them thinking it was all worth it, telling me how much they loved me all my life. When I thought of the future, that was what I pictured, not a career, the things I thought would come with it. Happiness, love, safety. And that dream had been enough for a long time. What was school if not a chance to earn your worth, to prove again and again that you were immeasurably good? One more deal I struck with a disinterested universe. If I'm good enough, I'll be happy, I'll be loved, I'll be safe. I genuinely think that everyone should read this book. I'm just saying, If you have a problem with self-realization and you're like me and you spent your entire life in school thinking that you were going to prove to everyone who loves you that you were doing the right thing, but you were really doing it for them, probably don't read it unless you want to be called out. But for me, I cried when I read it. I'll be honest with you guys. I didn't just cry. I full on ugly sobbed. So that really encompasses how I feel. That she said, what is school if not a chance to prove your worth? And I feel like the whole time I've been in school, that's all I've been trying to do. I was pushing myself to be the best at learning everything. And I'll be honest with you guys, it really took a toll on my health to the point where I couldn't go to school and I failed 3 of my classes. And it was the first time in my life that I had gotten an F. And so imagine that downward spiral. I crashed out really bad, like really, really bad. And then I went back the next semester and I put myself back in again and I did better, but it didn't make me feel better. I always do this thing where I push myself to be the best I can and I get nothing out of it. I feel no gratitude. I only feel a sense of relief that it's done, not an accomplishment, just like, okay, that's done, what's next? I've always struggled with accepting that things don't need to be perfect, they just need to be good. And maybe a lot of people feel that way. I haven't personally met anyone like that myself. So if anyone else is like that, please hit me up. We can have a perfectionist recovery meeting, I guess. I'm still learning. But that's another thing. My therapist actually said I was a perfectionist. There's this thing. Everyone knows what OCD is, but there's different levels to OCD. And I have what is called the just right OCD, also perfectionist OCD, where everything has to be just right. It translates into my schoolwork, where if I'm not getting an A, I'm crashing out. I'm spiraling. I'm going insane. Not healthy, I know, but that's just how it is. And it's worked. I mean, I got into grad school. Don't know how grad school's going to go for me. Stay tuned. That quote is the first thing that comes to mind when I think of senioritis. For me, just to be measurably good, it haunts me. It's one of the things that keeps me up in the middle of the night. Is if I am measurably good, tracking myself to be good enough to be the perfect version of myself that I can, even if I'm not perfect in my social life and I'm missing all these calls and missing all these texts and stressing out when I go out to doing things that are supposed to be enjoyable. I can't do it. Like, I time everything that I do around school. If I have an assignment that's due in like at 11 and I have all day to get it done, and my friends are like, do you want to come out for an hour to do this? I'm like, I can't let myself enjoy anything during the semester. And I feel guilty towards myself and towards everyone else that I know because I will put my own needs and the people I love on the back burner to satisfy and chase a grade that won't mean anything to me in the future. And the worst thing about it is that I'm so self-aware that I'm doing it and it bothers me, but I don't stop. I won't stop. And I know what's coming for me at the end and I just don't fix it, which is a problem that I think many people face. It's like struggling with an addiction. I'm chasing this validation and it's not getting me anything. And even when I get it, I'm like, that was it. That was all I wanted, and I have nothing to show for it. Graduation is a month away, and there's not even that many assignments left, and I don't have it in me to get them done. It's literally not that much. I feel like I have 2 assignments in one class, and I'm just like, okay, who's going to do that? Probably not me. It will be. I don't want to. I also wrote down this one quote. I don't know if anyone has read Shakespeare. Probably some people have because it's required reading in some classes. But I have a quote from Antony and Cleopatra, and it says, "In time we hate which we often fear. I have a fear of change, and I think that really goes with the senioritis that I'm feeling. Like I said, it's the desire or the detachment of starting a new chapter in your life. I have a fear of change. I think that's the thing that affects me the most is going into this. I don't love school. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't love it. I love having a routine. This goes into the OCD thing, I suppose. I love having a routine and knowing that I have something to do. So having assignments really stresses me out, but the idea of being able to, oh, I have to do this one a certain day and then this one the next day to keep myself on track is something that I enjoy. I enjoy my planner. She's my best friend. Me and her are so tight. She's sitting over on my desk right now. But the anxiety of the next step is what really triggers me. I had senioritis really bad in high school to the point where it was 2 months from graduating high school and I moved schools into an online program so I could just finish my classes as early as I could and then just not do anything. I didn't do anything for like a month and a half because graduation wasn't until June. So all my friends were still taking their regular classes and I had finished all of mine. And I remember sitting there after I was done being like, that was it? I was so scared of doing all this work. I just did it in weeks and did nothing afterwards. And I got no joy at the end of it. And it's supposed to be this great achievement of everyone being like, oh, you graduated high school. Congratulations. What's the next step? I was like, okay, what's the big deal? There are so many people who graduate high school. It's not the greatest achievement in the world. The fear of change is something that I really struggle with. I think that I kept saying it. I'll keep saying it because let it sink in. The fact that change happens every single day and I have a problem with it. Like, it's not so much as, oh, change of plans, we're going to do this, and oh, change of plans, we'll be 5 minutes late. That's fine. That is so fine. But if you spring on me that, like, we're supposed to go to a fancy dinner and I'm all dressed for fancy dinner, and last second you're like, actually, never mind. We're not going to do that. And we've been planning this for weeks. I can't do it. I will be so upset. I will probably lose my mind and I'll be like, I'm not going anymore. I can't do it. I can't handle that. The fear of change actually has a name, and I don't know if I'm saying it right. So it's metathesiopia, not metathesiopia. That sounds like Mesopotamia. Sorry. Metathesiophobia. I'll put it right here. Ding. That's the fear of change. And I feel like it really needs to be understood because it comes with a lot of symptoms. All phobias do. But I think that this one is really interesting because it's not just a fear of change, but it gives you actual physical symptoms. It's anxiety over changing routine, anticipatory anxiety, avoiding new experiences, the leaning toward perfectionism, and actual physical symptoms. For me, it's the leaning towards perfectionism. I keep saying it, I'm sorry, I keep reiterating this, but I have a problem with perfectionism. I think that a lot of people do. I keep saying that. I'm not a doctor, so don't quote me on any of this, but I think there's one aspect of everyone's life where they want to be perfect, not necessarily school. For some people, it's the perfect body, the perfect lifestyle, the perfect, I don't know, game stats. Everyone has this thing in their life that they need to be perfect. And I think that we are so caught up in that idea because, and I'll say it, it's the internet. I wasn't alive back then, but I'm pretty sure that many people back in the 70s and 80s weren't so caught up on the idea of perfectionism as much as we are now because they didn't have social media to compare their lives to everyone else. And that's my truth. Reference. I am on TikTok a lot of the time when I'm procrastinating doing work. And one of the things that I get all the time is toxic study motivation. And if you've never seen toxic study motivation, it's the encouragement of getting all A's. And I already struggle with having that, but then I go onto my social media and it's almost every single thing that I see. It's getting all A's, getting perfect hundreds, finishing the semester with all A's, no blemishes, every single assignment is an A. And that is the hardest thing to deal with when you deal with perfectionism. I don't really cope with it that well. And by cope with it, I mean I either blatantly ignore it or I push myself to notice it. I'm just going to be straight up honest with everyone right now. I have all A's in my classes, but I have low A's. I'm getting to the point where every single time I go to submit an assignment, Canvas has this feature where you can go in and input what your grade would be. I do that every single day. And it's not a healthy thing to do because I'll go in with my grade and I'll put in the 100, like the highest grade you could get, whatever it is, and I'll put it in as a 0. And I'll see what it is, and then I'll teeter between dropping 5 points each time to see what the lowest grade I can get is to keep an A. I think Canvas should probably do away with that feature, but don't do it to me. Wait until I'm done graduating and then do it. Because if I don't have it, I will spiral. Even though I have it still, I still spiral because I'm so meticulous at checking it. Not healthy. Not healthy, I don't condone it. However, if you do it, and do as I say, not as I do, because I will continue to do it. I know that about myself. Don't put yourself through that. Don't put yourself through that pressure, especially if you're struggling with senioritis like me, because I'm tracking it. I'm tracking it every single day. It is one of the things that keeps me up at night, is knowing how low I can go. And I strive to get the bare minimum done now. Where I'm like, okay, so if I make a 90 on this, my grade drops 0.30%, or not even 30%. But I'm like, I can get away with that. All I need mentally is to make an A. Making an A means everything to me when it should mean nothing. And it's not a flex. I'm not trying to be like, oh, I have an A. Because genuinely, no one cares. Or at least I believe no one cares. It's me who cares. And then I'm like, well, why am I doing it if no one cares? I care. But also I don't. Because what does it mean to me to get an A? That I'm measurably good? That they can look at me and be like, yeah, she did good. But at the same time, at the end of the day, we're all graduating in the same cap and gown, and no one's going to stand there and read my transcript and be like, oh, and she failed this class, she got an A in this class, vice versa, blah, 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 blah. No one cares. I care, and I burn myself out, and I push myself down to the ground for doing anything less than what I think I'm supposed to do. No one's telling me to go and get an A, or I'm going to be useless, and I have no purpose in life, and they don't love me. Because who would do that? And if they do that to you, then put them in your shoes. I always say, whenever someone's like, you don't need to do that assignment right now. You can take the time. I'm like, but I can't. Why don't you do it for me? You want to hang out with me and you want to do this. You do my assignment. You put yourself in my shoes. Not healthy? I still do it. Once again, do as I say, not as I do. There are probably a lot healthier ways to do this. As I said before, I'm not a doctor. This is just me ranting. Like a podcast would be. If it was constantly hosted by me, all I do is complain about the things that I know I can change and I don't. And the things that I am measurably good at. And also the things I have a lot of opinions on, and I have a lot of strong opinions. But also, if you're not a senior and you're watching this, don't go into the future doing what I do. Save yourself. Spare yourself. Spare me and spare yourself. from putting yourself through unnecessary stress. I cannot stress this enough. You are good. Like, you don't have to be measurably good. You're good. You're in school. You're working hard. You're good. Like, there are so many people who can't go to school, whether it be by circumstance or by choice, and they just choose not to do it. If you're choosing to do it, you're already doing good. It's not an easy thing to do. I don't care what anyone else says. You can quote me on this. It's not easy, and it's not for the weak. Don't let anyone tell you that you're not doing good enough in school because you're still showing up and you're still doing what you're supposed to do. On the other hand, if you're not showing up and doing what you're supposed to do, that's fine too, because it's hard and it's not for the weak. So if you went and you're like, this is too hard and I can't do it, okay, you still did a good job. I'm still proud of you. You're doing amazing and you're acing on your classes. Okay, I'm proud of you. You're showing up and you're failing. Okay, I'm proud of you because you're showing up. It's one of the hardest things people can do, to put your all into something and then be forced to be judged for it. Because that's really what you're doing at school. My teacher's watching this, and I'm not including you in this, sir. Scroll past this part. I'm just saying, going to school is setting yourself up to be judged for how you learn. And not everyone learns the same way. That's fine. It's really fine. I'm just saying, don't push yourself more than you have to. You should be allowed to take a break. You should be allowed to rest. And not everyone gets that opportunity at school, but you deserve it. If they're not giving it to you, take it for yourself. Take the B, take the C, take the D, take the F. Who cares? You could just retake the class. And if you can't retake the class, you can transfer somewhere else. You can do something else, something that benefits you. Don't do it just because other people say you have to do it. And I'm just being real. I tell everyone to do it, and I will never do it myself. So as I say, do as I say, not as I do. This semester has had me crashing out so bad. I've said it, and I'll say it again. This is the first class I've ever had where they've ever offered a 3-day grace period. If I honestly didn't have that, I would be gone with the wind. I would be spiraling. Because not only am I in this whole new area of life where I have to record myself, that's weird to me. I'm not saying that people who do it are weird. It's weird to me because I don't do it. I genuinely, at the beginning of the semester, was like, I'm not going to take a 3-day grace period. I'll just get it done. Like, I push myself so hard all the time to get something done. And I just can't do it. I just can't keep putting myself through these trials thinking that I'm going to outshine who I am and who I can be. Why can't I just focus on me right now? And I think that the 3-day grace period has really given me some perspective, because I would normally never, ever take it. Because to me, if I'm taking it and I'm telling you that, like, I need time and I can't do this, I'm admitting weakness. I'm showing you that I'm not good enough to do what you're asking of me. That's a crazy stance to take. That's a crazy stance to take. And I take it all the time. Because I need to be measurably good. And if I admit fault with myself, it lets other people see that I'm not as perfect as I want to be, or that I choose to present myself as. That's not realistic. It's not true. Now that I've ranted about my mental health issues, let's go into talking about how to deal with it. And this is one of these things where I say, oh yeah, I do self-care. I practice self-care in the sense that I do my skincare every night before bed. I don't treat myself to anything except for, I'm going to be honest, clothes, because if I'm going out, I gotta look nice. And if I'm going to be stressed out at home doing work, I'm going to do it in some comfy pajamas. and some comfy sweats. So that's my version of self-care through the semester. And then when the semester's over, oh girl, I'm video gaming. I'm playing video games. I'm doing Dragon Age. I'm doing Mass Effect. I'm playing Baldur's Gate. I'm spending hours on The Sims every night, staying awake until like 5 a.m., going to bed, waking up at 12 and doing it all over again. Because that's my idea of self-care during the semester. Or at the end of the semester. Or I'm reading one of these millions of books I got here. And over there on the other side of the room. That's what I do. Whatever you do is good for you. And I think that we should do that. I think that we should take up doing it more during this